listening to some of it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Mike, do whatever you want to start, buddy.
It's Jeff, and that's you right here. And wait, hold on, let me change my view. Okay, there's Mike and Ron, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, Ron.
Thank you for being part of our podcast today, brother.
Hey, man, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Paul is a fascinating dude because Paul, it's beyond a problem. He's actually going to school to become a psychologist, which is amazing because he's actually working on his own problems, which I find fascinating. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 33 years old. I've done a lot of things in life, a lot of different areas. I'm a chef. I've been a chef for the last decade. I went to school for that. I went to school, got my associates in 2 different things, and then now I'm in school again, getting my psychology credentials. I've been a touring musician, a stand-up comic, and I'm a martial artist.
Ooh.
Right on.
So
Why are you making the switch to psychology?
I think it was like everything kind of just culminated into one thing where I enjoyed like touring and playing music and being artistic, and I enjoyed like cooking and culinary and that journey. I think I just like making people happy, and now I want to help people in the best way possible by helping myself first.
So
Right on.
what issues do you have that made you be like, you know what, I got a major in psychology to help myself? What were ones that got you to that point?
For sure, growing up, family dynamics. Like I had I've met a lot of toxic people in my life, and it's weird is like I've known many different walks of life. I know in high school, like I knew the punkers, the cholos, the preppies, like I knew everybody, and I got along with everybody. I think sometimes I get a little too lost in relationships, and I've met some toxic people, and it kind of made me want to think about what is it about me what's this attraction, or why is this dynamic the way it is? So I just wanted to start learning more about myself and them.
Yeah,
What happened?
When you say lost, what does that mean? What's that look like?
Like I enmeshed, like kind of like where their problems begin and where mine start, where theirs end. Like I kind of get lost in the relationship, as in like helping too much or
So codependency.
Yeah.
codependency. Yeah, codependency is definitely a part of it for sure.
And so when you're saying toxic relationships, give us maybe 1 or 2 examples of the craziest, most toxic of those relationships.
Most of them have been like intimate relationships. They were one person and then they were another person, and I didn't even realize the change because I was too busy trying to understand like what I was doing to make that possible, and not realizing it has nothing to do with me. So,
Would you consider them, were they bipolar or bipolar
No,
disorder, or?
I would consider it personality disorders, like
borderline personality disorder,
borderline narcissism, things like that. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, and I know, I have a friend who's a schizophrenic. I just kind of discovered that recently. He never told me, but I've known quite a few mentally ill people, and even still, like, not saying that I don't have issues of my own. And I think by knowing them, I've actually learned more about myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Paul, I talked to him prior to the show, he has this level of consciousness about himself that I don't think he really realizes. You're a lot saner than you think, because I think through everything you've been through, you've kind of worked out most of it.
Yeah.
And as far as the codependent thing, if you have fucked up parents, my childhood was Anne Frank bad. You're going to pick crazy motherfucking people. And it takes years to like really look objectively and be like, you know what? I can't pick somebody like this anymore.
Yeah. By the way, say hi to my mom. She's on here. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, but no, it's
I'm like, hi, Mom. Good luck.
Hi, Paul's mom.
you fucked
So
me
what's
up.
for Christmas?
No, it's that's absolutely true. Like, I think it's also just family in general, and like I grew up with like kids older than me too. Like I was like the youngest. I was kind of an only child, even though I have like half brother and a half sister. I was kind of raised alone, and I think like that yearning for attention it's probably why I'm a performer in some sense. Like I kind of long for that, I think, and I'm very comfortable being in front of a crowd. But the alone time is not something I ever got used to, and now I'm way more used to it now, like because I just do things on my own. But definitely the family aspect had something to do with where I lost myself in some of these relationships. Like I felt it was like my mission to I'm reactively selfless, and it's my job to fix people, even though no one appointed me for that.
Hey, what happened when you were a child that made you that way?
Honestly, I'm still uncovering that in therapy on my own.
Okay.
I kind of don't know, but the only thing I can tell you is that I'm aware of is I did grow up alone. I was really adamant about organizing my space, and even back then I was afraid of someone hurting my family as a kid. Like I don't know, like I just had weird like issues with like protecting my family as a child.
How many? I'm sorry. How many brothers did you have? Siblings?
I have one brother and one sister. They're half.
Yeah, I have a half too. I raised I helped raise my half brother. So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm
I
the
was
youngest.
alone a
I'm
lot
the
as
youngest
well.
also. So
Yeah, and Mike is so short. He's like half of a person also. So it kind
That's
of
true.
how tall are you,
yeah.
Mike?
Yeah.
I'm 5'5".
Oh, perfect. I'm actually
In
taller
heels.
than him. That's good.
Yeah, he's 5'5" in heels.
And Ron is very gay and very creepy. So be careful, Paul. He's staring at you like
Gay and
snacks.
creepy, or Mike in heels. I'll take gay and creepy.
Oh my God.
Good
Ron
one. You're
strikes
right.
again.
Wise choice.
So, Paul, so let me ask you this, because you're saying you're still learning. First of all, how long have you been in therapy now?
I started about 3 years ago. I stopped going for close to a year, and I'm back in it now for 4 months.
Right on. You know, one of my exes was, I've been in therapy for 10 years, 10, 11 years. And
No.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, just going back to what you guys are saying, I mean, it just takes a long time to uncover yourself. And when you have, very difficult childhoods, there's a lot to uncover. My dad burned my house down when I was 13 years old, just to start off with. So there's not like it was, there's a lot there. But what I notice is when people don't remember, what you were saying, you're trying to uncover it. Are there parts of your childhood that you don't remember? And why was it that you isolated yourself away from your siblings the way you did?
That wasn't really they were older than me. They moved out. One of them lived with their dad, their real father. The other one moved out somewhere else with his girlfriend. And
Gotcha. Okay.
I grew up with them for the most part, but I might have a hard time remembering. Like it's very subtle if there's any abuse. Very subtle. Like, and I love my parents to death. They're actually really good people. I think it's just the circumstances of like what it was. And like I said, I'm still uncovering that. I don't really know, but there's definitely I have a need sometimes to help those that can't help themselves. And I'm realizing that to be problematic.
Yeah, you want to be careful with that. You want to kind of distance. You can help them. You just don't want to get emotionally caught up in it.
And by being like supportive. And I've done that too in a healthy way in the past as well. Just certain kinds of relationships have led me down like where I'm too far in it. And like I'm way more grounded than the people I end up being with. I kind of attract people that are just not there. And I think that has to do with like I was in like a violent music scene when I was younger. Like the fighting was like part of it. And I'm a pretty peaceful person, and I can have a tendency to be aggressive in certain situations. But I think when it comes to relationships, I'm definitely more of a softie for sure.
Right. So first, I just want to say, it's kind of messed up when your daddy burns down your house because you won't leave. I'm just saying that just.
You got to get
He
out,
should
Ron.
have burnt you, Ron. You would have been better off.
Yeah. Oh,
He would have burnt you.
You ain't leaving. I'm burning this motherfucker down. That's all I'm saying.
He would have burnt you with straightness.
Yeah, I get it.
But on the other hand, though, it's always, you got to be careful. Again, I think it's kind of a self-esteem thing. Well, we always want to be enablers and caretakers when we're growing up a certain way, brought up a certain way, and you got to be careful. Like you said, you got to be careful of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, and
you really
it's
got.
also, sorry, it's also like mirroring. Like I watch my parents too. Like they've been hardcore enablers in other people's lives, including my own at times.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so it's kind of behavior I copy as I become like there's nothing wrong with being a caring person or even a
No.
caregiver to some extent. How
No.
far you go, how much you do is what I've learned over the last year of like what I need to work on. And I feel like a better person for it, to be honest. Like
So could you be transferring somebody from your childhood to that person?
it's possible. I know in 2000s, some of this stuff may have happened even more recently as far as, with codependency issues. I went through 5 deaths in a year
Mm-hmm.
of close
I'm
people.
surprised you ain't got abandonment issues.
I do. I've been abandoned several times, but
Okay.
I would say it's more of a rejection thing, like most comics. But
You know,
good.
one of the things I learned about myself through therapy is that, you know, as we get into romantic relationships, we start meeting people that represent the good and the bad of our parents, of our caregivers, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're constantly trying to recreate or heal different aspects of our childhood in our adult life. You know, that's why you kind of sometimes you end up and the end of it, if you don't just have therapy, you actually start becoming the good and the bad of your parents, you know, because of what you saw. And a lot of that is absorbed, it's not taught, you know. And so what part I say that to ask you the question is like, what part of the codependency do you think it is that you're trying to heal in the relationship that you had with your parents?
That's a good question. The codependency I have with my parents, I don't, ironically enough, like my parents have always been very supportive people of anything
Mhm.
I've done. I was never really punished as a kid because I never really acted out.
Mhm.
I think I have what's called the golden child
Yeah,
complex. Like,
that's an archetype. It's a golden
yeah,
child. Yes. Uh-huh.
like I was like I was a miracle baby. Actually, my dad couldn't have kids.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
Um,
interesting. Mhm.
So what
and
does the mailman look like?
huh?
What's the mailman look like?
The mailman is black, but
So you
I
both
made him
black.
have a baby. He signed his soul to me, his dad. He didn't want to say anything.
I hope my real dad is not Mike Muratore.
Oh God.
No,
I would feel
You
I know
sorry
you got
for
a
you,
thing for
Paul.
cougars, and my mom's not half bad, but no, no, I don't know, but the codependency with my parents. I mean, I always wanted to do right by them, and they've never been disappointed in me as far as I can recall. So I don't know what that is, to be honest.
Mm.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I really think that the one thing, and I had to learn this, is learning how to not pick the person that's not good for me. Why am I attracted to that type of person where I want to save them? And so I had to learn to stop doing that. That when I
Right.
saw that person, to go the other way, because we're attracted
Mhm.
to
Right.
I think
that.
it's the nurturing aspect in everybody.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's not
Right.
And
good for us. But it's not
You
good
know,
for us.
and
no, it's not. It's everyone needs to do that journey on their own, and I think for me being 33, life has continually given me the same people,
Mm.
and for the first time in my life over the last year, I would say like I'm listening, and
Mm.
now I'm questioning my role in it. I'm no longer blaming. I'm no longer a victim.
Right.
I'm a survivor of any interaction I've had at this point.
Have you done any because you mentioned you're one of the it's not often that people start talking about archetypes
Yeah.
in any situation, so I imagine you got that from your therapist. Have you started doing any is that the case, first of all, and have you done any archetype work on yourself? Do you know what your archetype makeup is?
No, I have not. I didn't get it from my therapist. I read it from this guy. His name is Dr. Ross Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm,
He's
mm-hmm,
done a lot of work in codependency and
mm-hmm.
narcissism and stuff like that, narcissistic
Yeah,
parents and whatnot.
yeah,
Um,
the main archetypes are victim, saboteur, prostitute, and child. And the child can either be a wounded child, is the either puer aeternus, that's Peter Pan, child forever, the golden child, or the wounded child. You know?
Is there
So
also,
what are you, Ron? Are you a prostitute?
We all have prostitute. It's
I'm a prostitute.
Everyone has every my psychologist is Jungian based psychologist, and archetypes were kind of invented, kind of outlined by him. So the 4 basic archetypes that all people have is victim, prostitute, saboteur, and child.
And the golden child is actually Eddie Murphy. So just so you know,
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so
where is the scapegoat in that?
There is no scapegoat. There's the dark and there's the light of each archetype. And so through therapy and through archetype work, all of our goals who do that type of work is to identify. First of all, you have your primary archetypes. Then you're going to have at least 4 or 5 more archetypes that resonate with you. Me, Jeff, and Mike, and yourself probably have clown or jester because of the comedy. But the idea there is to understand what those archetypes are and move them from dark into light. And so all of them are different aspects of self-worth. Prostitute is self-worth, self-esteem. The child is how you come into the planet. Saboteur is getting in and out of your way. It's about the flow of life, allowing things to, generally speaking, what do you deserve? How do you get it? Victim is, again, if either you are a victim, either you're victorious over events that happen to you, or you succumb to them. And so these, right. Generally speaking, again, I'm not a psychologist, but these are, generally speaking, the different areas. Those are what those archetypes carry. And so when you're interacting with people, they mean different things. They do different things from an archetypical.
Now, Ron, I got a question. Can you have qualities of all of those?
You
in
do.
One person?
You do. Absolutely.
But one stands out the most.
At some point in time, one of them pops out.
That's exactly. You have your archetypes come in and out of power. So maybe your puer aeternus is really powerful at a period of time, or maybe your clown is really powerful, or maybe your king is really powerful. One of the archetypes that I have is Messiah, and something that you can take a look at with that.
Stop it.
What do you like, gay Christ? Get the fuck out of here.
Real talk. When you start talking about archetypes, you got to take away what the name is and actually start looking at what they are. As if you look at Zeus, if they speak to a human condition, and one thing that the Messiah does is that he will sacrifice himself for everyone else.
Now we're getting into the writer's journey, because all this is archetypes.
Ron, you ain't no fucking Messiah. You're more like a fucking Joker, childlike motherfucker.
That's interesting.
Jester is one of my archetypes for sure.
The self-sacrifice. I think that would have to do with martyrdom, and yes. I think that's definitely been a problem for me in the past. I instinctively sacrifice myself almost in every situation.
Right, but
because I could take it for mostly, but for the most part I can take it. It's when there's too much emotional involvement and there's nothing mutual at the end, and it was all centered around some kind of a Machiavellianism kind of thing, like some kind of exploitative thing. That's where it's like I kind of lose myself, where it's like,
right, fuck, it's all about, that's like James.
Right on, James.
I agree with James. It's about ego.
Yeah.
It all comes at the end of the day, it's all about self-esteem and ego.
Yeah, but if your ego's broken, in defense of James, I saw the comment, and Paul, if your ego's broken, you're going to be weak to people that need like a lot of help. So if they suck the life out of you, if your self-esteem is low, you're going to let them take advantage of you.
Yeah, right. What I was going to say was, when those two clash, there's a problem.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. Just to kind of shed a little light on this. Your ego doesn't clash with your archetypes. your archetypes clash with themselves. Your ego is your ego is, it's part of your subconscious, and so when your archetypes are not in power, when they're not in the light, they actually are those aspects of your subconscious are what's conflicting. So your Messiah can conflict with your Joker, can conflict with your child. All these different things happen, but at the end of the day, you know, as my psychologist says, our goal is to soulmate with ourselves,
Right.
and what that means is, when your conscious mind is aware of and in tune with and in active communication with your subconscious mind, that's how humans soulmate. You can't soulmate with someone else outside of your being, because that can only, the most they could ever be is a life partner, you know?
Ron,
Yeah, that's
Ron,
pretty
you are so high right now.
Have you been smoking, Ron?
I'm sober today. I haven't smoked at all today.
Because Joey, your boyfriend, said that we all need medication, and he's probably correct.
Who's Joey Scrotum?
Joey
He's some fucking axe murderer from Beverly Hills that fucks his mom.
He's this white guy we want to bang after we've done this podcast.
I just love the look on Paul's face when you're doing the whole damn thing. Paul was like, "What the fuck is he babbling about?"
No, I haven't done that kind of work yet. Like,
I'll finish with this. I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's a book called Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Meese.
Okay.
And that is a great book to start you off on understanding what archetypes are. And you can, there's works in there that you could actually take to your psychologist, Carolyn Meese, MYSS, and it's called Sacred Contracts. And I advise it for anybody who's going to therapy and looking to dig deep inside themselves.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm all about introspection at this point.
Yeah.
And I wish more people were. I think it's to take the time to do it and to actually really do it as an individual.
Right.
I think it really does help. I mean, it's been proven to help. So it's like anything I can get my hands on, I'll read. As far as I've read like 2 books during quarantine that have kind of fueled me in a lot of this stuff too. So.
I mean, because like take Mike for instance. Mike was raised by raccoons underneath a bridge, and so when he reads books, it's usually more about
wait, audio tape.
Right, yeah,
You're both trying to clown me, you motherfuckers.
Hey, at least they didn't say it's a short read. At least they didn't say that.
Listen, Ron,
he has
you don't
one of
love
his bitches
yourself.
read it to him.
Ron, you don't love yourself because you know you're a fucking faggot, but we love you.
First of all, and Paul, first of all, thank you for tolerating our podcast.
I tolerate another one, so
thank you very much. And what's important for you to understand is that Mike, he eats live animals whole.
That's true.
Right.
Four-legged dogs are just chickens with 4 legs. They have no problem eating them. I will eat them raw.
What kind of dog you want to eat?
I like the little ones, and then I like German Shepherds because I don't like German Shepherds as pets, so I like to eat them.
Oh, okay.
It tastes like pork chops.
You could actually ride a German Shepherd. That's the beauty of it.
What is that?
I said you can actually ride a German Shepherd. That's the beauty.
I can. I'm so short. I can just climb on top of him and ride him like a horse.
So Paul, let me ask you this: where do you see yourself in 2-3 years from now, based off of what you're doing, all the work you're doing on yourself? Like, what's your goals? What do you what does that look like?
Finishing grad school.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't decided if I'm going for my doctorate or a PhD or just a master's.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I got to do is get my BA, which is next semester. I'll be done. I started this roughly 2 years ago, and I've been a straight A student this whole way through.
Congratulations.
For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I've really applied myself to it, and I really enjoy the process and learning it. And throughout my life, I think I've helped people, and I think that's where I want to do that full time, and I want to do that in the best way possible.
Nice.
So 3 years from now, I'm hoping to have a master's degree and entering the field.
So where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in a relationship 2 years from now?
Honestly, I don't know if that's up to me. As far as my involvement, I see myself being a lot more assertive about my needs and emotions. in a
Do you think
balanced
that
in a balanced way.
do you feel that you set good boundaries when you're in a romantic relationship?
I don't think I know what boundaries are up until
There
a
you
year
go.
ago.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Mm.
That's the key. You gotta have boundaries.
Paul, I have glue. Do you like to glue women?
I've heard your story, Mike, and I'm kind of down because I'm kind of a freak. So
Okay, well, I'll give you some glue because we're
okay.
friends now. I'll
Yeah.
give you some glue.
If you could send
Yeah,
if you could send those kind of women my way, I'm interested in this glue thing you got going on. Like,
and
Glue,
Paul,
glue is God's way of saying I love you.
Paul, let me assure you that
Work your way up.
let me assure you, Paul, that if you start taking sexual tips from Mike, you need therapy.
I'm already in it. And like, don't let the dreamy demeanor fool you. Like, I'm a freak too. Like, I
Wait,
like
who said you had a dreamy demeanor?
a lot of
Like an
people.
Armenian
Mike
terrorist. That's why we love
Muratore
you.
told me this before I got on here.
Wait. You listening to Mike?
Hey, he got me on the show. I entertained it. I had to do a Louis C.K. kind of thing where I watched him, and that was it. Like, he had super glue.
Glue is God's way of
what's-
loving.
You're saying you're a freak, but you're talking to Ron Bush and Mike Muratore. What makes you think that
Glue
you're a
the
freak?
face like this.
I have things like sexual things that I like, but none I'm willing to discuss with Mike in here because it's just gonna look like, a Boy Scout to a Boy Scout master. You know what I mean?
Again, that's self-esteem. See, go with it.
I'm not gonna.
All right, wait.
Mike
To
Mike
close it out,
super glues people. What? Go ahead.
Paul. We've got like maybe 10 minutes left. Paul's got this amazing gift. Okay, Paul. Okay, we're gonna start with Jeff. Do what you do, Paul. Paul is like a psychic. It's unfucking believable. Do it, Paul.
Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, motherfucker.
All right. Well, all right. That's giving me a sign right there. Jeff, are you a leader or a follower?
It depends.
It depends on what.
Depends what in the mood on. It depends if my white half is kicked in or my black half.
What's the black half?
Black
Leader.
half is the leader, motherfucker.
Okay, you're very aggressive. Have you ever seen karma work for you?
Karma, you know what? She actually blew me one time. She was fucking amazing.
Answer the fucking question, Jeff. Honestly, God damn it. This
Thank
guy's
you, Mike.
amazing. Stop fucking
All
my
right,
shit
all
up.
right.
Do it.
I'm reading them like a book.
No, karma have had karma in my favor. Yeah.
What did that look like?
Both ways.
What did it look like? That's interesting. You said both ways. What did it look like for your justice, your benefit?
For my benefit, yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one. It looked like, and I don't really like stuff like that, but like everybody else, karma is some type of revenge.
Do you look at it as revenge or justice?
I look at it as justice.
Did it feel good?
No.
Okay. Would you say you seem kind of aggressive, but are you actually really sensitive?
He is.
Yeah.
Ron's answering.
Yeah,
for
he
you.
is. Yeah, he is.
Hey,
Very
I
sensitive.
told you my black half is answering for me.
Listen. Just answer the fucking question.
All right. So you're sensitive. This is like proclaimed by your two friends here and yourself. Would you say you're kind of if you feel threatened or what's the word, abused or made fun of, are you kind of vindictive?
Yeah, I can be. Yeah.
Yeah, Ron's eyes are going up.
Yes. Fucking yes.
Vindictive.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
does he like kind of spit bile? Should I just talk to you two instead of him? Wait, does he spit bile when he's mad?
Oh, fuck yes.
Like he's
Yeah.
he's kind of
He's a
venomous,
cunt.
right?
Bitchy.
He's a fucking
He gets
cunt.
bitchy. Yeah, he gets bitchy.
Okay. I kind of have some ideas here. What do you think makes a good parent, Jeff?
A good parent, someone who teaches, somebody who listens, somebody who takes care of the needs of the child emotionally and and monetarily.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister and a brother.
Are you the youngest, middle?
In the middle.
Oh, so do you have any problems with jealousy?
No,
You wouldn't say you're jealous at all?
no,
Not even in relationships?
no.
If you feel like your woman's cheating on you, are you just gonna go fuck someone else kind of thing?
No, I'm just out.
Okay.
I'm just out. See, this is if there's a problem in my relationships, is that women will say, "Well, you don't care," because I don't get mad. It's like they do some bullshit. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm out. I don't need to deal with that. I'm a grown up.
Oh, so you're kind of evasive.
That's not evasive. I'm just telling you, if you hurt me, if you like cheat on me, there's no reason for me to fucking stick around.
No, of course, yeah, and that's good for you, but you'll just leave, and you won't forget that either, right?
No, no, yeah, I'm gonna forget that. No, you're
No,
right.
he never forgets. He's like a horse.
He never forgets.
It's an elephant, Mike.
Jeff,
It's an elephant.
Jeff, do you forgive
You mean forgive?
someone the love of your life cheats on you? Do you forgive her, or do you hold on to that?
Over time, but for a while, no, I don't forgive.
I don't think you forgive. Not with something big like that.
No, I said over time.
Yeah, over time, sure, because like maybe just someone replaces her or whatnot. Are you obsessive about anything?
Yeah, I can be
Okay.
obsessive about football, comedy. Yeah,
Working out, diet.
Working out, how he looks. You're a good looking man. I'm gonna go off on a limb. Pick one of these things real quick: water, fire, air,
One
or
of the
earth.
Water.
Water. Are you at all like physically aggressive with people?
No, unless I'm being attacked.
Unless you're being attacked. What if someone attacks one of your friends over here, like Mike or Ron? Are you gonna
I'm gonna whip that ass.
you whip that ass? Is it
Either that-
all right,
either
one
that
more
or pull
question.
me off
Just
the
one more
sleeping with
question
him.
for Ron. One more question for Ron and Mike. Is he scary ever?
He can be, yeah.
Yeah, he can be.
Yeah. He'll flip a switch and stab somebody.
Yeah, he's not. He's no joke. I'd give him that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a pushover.
You can be vindictive when you feel attacked, or even moody, or like kind of venomous. You kind of would run away from a Are you a Scorpio?
Yes! Yes! I fucking told you he's a genius! Yes! Yes!
He's a Scorpio?
Yes!
You were born
Fucking hit it!
you're born somewhere mid-November?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. All right.
November
How do you do
16th.
that?
He's got fucking powers. I fucking told you.
Wow.
You're next, Ron. You're fucking
All right,
next.
so wait, hold on. This is interesting because Mike's a Cancer, and you're a Scorpio. So Ron,
Yeah.
okay, are you a leader or a follower?
Definitely a leader.
Definitely a leader.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a relationship?
Intelligence, looks, strength, values, integrity.
Tight asshole.
Try to, hopefully. When you get hurt, what do you do?
I get very angry. It's definitely difficult for me to let go of stuff like that. I definitely get in my own head. I overanalyze.
You overanalyze.
Yeah.
You have the capacity to forgive, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So the people that have gone against you or hurt you, you don't hold it to them for a long time, right?
No, not at all. No. It depends on, there are certain pains that I've found more difficult to let go over time, but generally speaking, I believe that, everybody doesn't show up to be their best person in life at certain points in time. So I tend to be I do the work on myself. I don't like to carry bitterness or anger inside of me. So I'll do the work on myself to make sure that I find the forgiveness so I feel better, regardless of if I communicate that forgiveness to that person or not.
Okay. How old are you?
51, but don't tell anybody. Well, all my boy toys know it, so it's fine.
You
51.
old black
Hey,
motherfucker.
I have a question. When you were 20, did people tell you that you were like an old soul?
Very much so. All my entire life, yeah.
Yeah, because you're kind of sounding like me right now.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not gay, but
Yeah, that's okay.
Ron might be to turn you, Paul. Be afraid.
no, it's all right. I'm not. No, it's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's gay. Mike,
Ron, are
Mike,
you
look much more gay than he does right now. Go ahead.
are you a crier?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not,
Yeah, you are, motherfucker. You cry.
No, I don't actually. My father mentally abused me enough where it's really difficult for me to cry. I was only able to start crying probably like 5-6 years ago.
But okay, and that's interesting too. Just because you're not crying, you still feel that sadness that that it's heavy on your heart. You wear it a lot.
Absolutely. Now, if you ask me if I'm emotional, yes, I'm a very emotional person. Yes.
Would you say you're an idealist or a realist?
Oof.
I'm willing to bet idealist.
I would say equal parts.
Really?
Equal parts. Yeah, I would say equal parts. Yeah. There's a balance for sure.
You're a realist.
I would say Jeff's probably more of a
everything
realist.
everything I do is based off of idealism.
You're a survivalist too. You could survive fucking anything. You're tough.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like a human cockroach. You can just,
Yeah.
Are you artistic? Like, do you do other things other than stand up? Like, you paint or you play music?
I used to be in a rap. I am a creative. I used to be in a rap group and other things. Yeah.
Okay, I'm willing to bet that you're a water sign too.
Yep.
And because you said the old soul thing, and I've been told that since I was fucking 15. I'm gonna say you're a Pisces.
Damn, yeah!
Really
yes,
good.
I fucking told you! He got magic, motherfuckers.
What's
March
your birthday?
March 17th.
March 17th. St. Patty's Day.
Damn!
Yeah.
That's cool. Hell yeah. I'm March 12th. I'm a Pisces.
St. Patty's Day. Ain't that
That's really, it's really interesting how you can do that. You really got to get that book, Sacred Contracts, with Carolyn Meese. Archetypes and astrology are so closely related. Go ahead.
And since you were born on St. Patty's Day, that's because you were that's why you like to bang white guys. That's it.
You like Irishmen?
They're not my. I do like Irishmen. They're not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. The only white guys the only white guys that kind of like with are German. German guys are fucking nuts. But besides, and
Germans
Russians
in general, I mean, yeah,
they're fucking nuts. But
even when they're talking, it sounds like they're pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, and they could be
right.
Yeah, no, that I kind of cheated a little bit in the sense that Mike's a Cancer, and when I figured out he was a Scorpio, water signs go like they flow like water. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you would talk the most to me throughout this whole thing, and sharing showing me your sensitive vulnerability kind of stuff. I kind of picked up on it because I'm like this with every Pisces I know. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I kind of got there with you.
That's pretty amazing. That's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. How did you learn how to do that?
I honestly don't know how to do it. I read about zodiac stuff, and I don't believe in horoscopes. I don't really I kind of feel like they kind of put that in your head, like you'll meet a brunette and then you do kind of thing. Right. But the traits, although they're all generalized, like anyone could be kind of anything. There's specific things with certain people, and usually people will answer depending. Like if I say, are you sensitive? Are you jealous? Are you dreamy? Like usually water signs will answer that, and depending on how people answer too. Like standoffish people, like I notice are like fire signs, and depending on what you say, like Jeff said water, and he also said no, if I don't forget certain things, but I will over time. This is just it's easy to kind of pick up on.
Yeah, it's
but I'm honestly not good at this. Like to be honest, I have a 75% success rate.
You nailed these two. Let me tell you something.
But Mike, I figured out Mike first, and that's why, because he's kind of a crusty crab kind of guy. You know what I mean? So he's
he's a hobbit. He's a hobbit.
And I've been called that too. So I get it. I'm 5'8", man. I get it.
Well, you look.
Oh, you're 5'8", but you're taller than Mike, though.
I'm taller than Mike, and thank God for that.
Taller than me.
That's all I got on him. I don't super glue people, you know what I mean? I wish
Like
I had
this,
that.
Paul. Like this. You haven't lived. Like
I
this,
know.
Paul.
Teach me your
Gotta
ways,
grow
Mike.
it.
I'm a pupil, man.
It's gonna be fun for you. I like this.
Just like that on a coffee table.
Gotta glue your head to the fucking coffee table.
In the bent over position like that. I like it. It's good.
You haven't lived, kid.
Paul, we really want to thank you for doing our podcast. And
Paul, you're amazing.
Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
So much fun, Paul. Such a good time.
I enjoyed it, and you guys are very profound people, and I enjoy your show. So
how
keep
can
at it,
people
man.
contact you? How can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's my name, so it's Paul _ Missirlian.
Oh, you're Armenian.
Yes.
Of course he's
Oh
Armenian.
my.
You didn't know that shit?
You know what? I have the only men I've not dated. I've
Here we
never
go.
dated an Armenian man.
Here we go.
I'm not
nigga.
interested, Ron.
Leave him
not you.
alone, Ron.
But if you know any gay Armenian men, send them my way. That's all I'm
Honestly,
saying.
you know what? They're kind of I would say they're a little bit, huh?
They're prissy little bitches. Go ahead.
And they're kind of bigoted. Like they're not gonna even if they are gay, they're not gonna admit it. You know, you're gonna have that's a tough one to try. Turkish guys. Turkish
guys been there. Yeah, Turkish guys know. I'm telling you, like I said, with Armenian men, I don't know what it is. They're just like you said, they are kind of prissy and bigoted. I'll tell you this,
sure. And I'll tell you this, and this is not to toot my own horn, but we're hung like horses. Like it's a fact. Every Armenian guy.
Ron, tell people where you can find you at.
Me, Ron Bush, on Instagram at ron.bush, BUSH and the number 1. On Facebook is at ron.bush. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook is the same thing. Twitter is at Ron Bush Comedy. And my website is ronbushodline.com. Let's do it. Hit me up.
Mike.
Instagram, Serial Killer of Comedy. Website, Serial Killer of Comedy. Twitter, at Midget Demon. Facebook, Mike Muratore.
All right, and I'm Jeff Keller. You can find me at My Mom's White on Twitter or My Mom's White on Instagram and on Facebook. It's Jeff Keller. And if you want to be a guest on this show, you got issues you want us to work out, please DM one of us. This is so you think you got problems.
So you think you got problems.
So you think you got problems.
Oh, you got problems for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, Ron, you creepy as fuck, Ron.
So thank you guys, and we out until next week.
All right, next
Thank
week.
you everybody for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you guys. I really enjoyed everything.
We love
Thank
you.
you guys for sharing.